Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. 10 Newcastle United players that the new owners could be looking to sell in the summer window. Now, this isn't my opinion. This is who I believe the new owners will actually be looking to sell in the summer. There are quite a few controversial ones on here, but again, don't destroy me in the comments. I'm just giving you my thoughts, so please be respectful. Anyway, though, I feel like now is a good time to do this video due to that Everton performance, because down there in Everton Thursday night, it was just terrible from Newcastle. There are some players that started that game that would not be here next season. It's as simple as that. They're not good enough. There are players in there that are holding this club back. And for the new owners, again, the new owners have stated within the next 5 years they want to win the Champions League or to win the Premier League. So in order for that to happen, you've got to get rid of the players now. There are players in that squad now that just can't do that. As harsh as it is, thank you for your good services, but some of them had to go. Anyway, guys, so I'm doing daily uploads on the channel now, so if you are new, I really do appreciate your support. I have actually got a product in this video, by the way, so it's a really nice looking FIFA card there, so any guys play FIFA. I mean, look how good that looks. I'm on about the card, by the way, not me. But seriously though, thank you for theme.co.uk for sending me this. It's acrylic, by the way. I've actually got another one on the wall, which is made out of cardboard. This one, the material is so much better, like, hear that? It's just firmer, it looks a lot better, feels a lot better, it's a really nice looking card. So that's the sort of thing, guys, I stick it down in the pinned comment. But my new custom Newcastle card, we get my signature on there. But yeah, for example, when football players sign the signatures and send them off, it will be quite similar material to that, like really firm material. So I love this so much, and thank you so much for sending it. But anyway, guys, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's begin off by talking about the goalkeepers. We have 4 goalkeepers in the 25-man squad. I think that's too many goalkeepers. We only need 3. And the thing is as well, with a guy like Mark Gillespie, he's the 4th choice goalkeeper. Yet you have people like Dan Langley or a youth team goalkeeper come in, and that person will not take in the 25-man squad. So what's the point of Mark Gillespie? He's just there. He's taking up a valuable spot that could be used elsewhere on the pitch, elsewhere in the defence, midfield, wherever it may be. So I think Mark Gillespie does need to go. Whether the club actually sell him or not is another question. I do think at least one goalkeeper will be sold in the summer. Dollar and Woodman now. I think one will stay and I think one will go. Personally, I believe the club will try and sell Carl Dollar because Woodman has a better future. He has more value as a goalkeeper. And Dollar this season has been really dodgy when he's played. I know Woodman has as well, but he's an up-and-coming goalkeeper who made his Premier League debut against West Ham this season. So with Dollar, he's played a few years now against Chelsea, Brentford. He was just terrible, conceded 3 goals in both of the games. He was just giving them away to the opposition. It was just, I couldn't believe it. I don't know what's happened in this season, but not the same goalkeeper. And I think the club will offload him now while you still get some value for him. So, personally, I think Carl Dollar will be sold. Gillespie will potentially be sold. Again, I'm not too sure. I think at least one goalkeeper will be sold though. So, I think 1, definitely 2, potentially. It depends if you want to bring another goalkeeper in. It depends on what the club has in store. But I think at least 1 will definitely go. Speaking of the 25-man squad, 2 players did not make the cut. The first one, Kieran Clark. I think he will 100% be sold in the summer. He doesn't have a future at this football club anymore. Twice this season, he's embarrassed us on a football pitch. The first one, that Norwich game, the biggest game of our season at that point. He gets sent off in the first 10 minutes with a stupid pullback in Timo Pukki. The players clearly threw in goal. Clark's made a mistake. Accept it. If he scores, and we move again. Instead, he blatantly gets himself sent off. Like, what was he even thinking? He's the last man. It baffles me. It was a shocker for him. It cost us 2 points in the game. It was terrible. We then went on holiday to Saudi Arabia. Players had a training match. Again, he tries to punch a player in a training match and he gets sent off. Like, what is he doing? It's unacceptable. And not only that, when Bruno signed at the football club, he's going around the change room at St James Park and he meets all the players, handshake everyone. He's just flown them from Brazil. Clark's sitting there on his phone, not even acknowledging him. He's handshaking him when he's sitting down in there on the seat. It doesn't sound like much, but I really think it looks bad when the player's sitting down handshaking someone. It's just a lack of respect. Stand up, he's a club record, sign, handshake him, acknowledge him. Instead, he's on his phone. It looks terrible. I really think he couldn't give up one, to be honest. At the end of the season, we know he's been playing Premier League football since 2008. Definitely, I tell him he's just finished, really. The second one we've got now, Jamal Lewis. I like him quite a bit. I thought he was decent before he got injured at Liverpool. However, though, he's not a versatile player. The problem with him being he can't play multiple positions. Matt Target, I think we'll sign him in the summer. Dan Burke can play left back. We've got Dummett, even though he's injury prone. if he stays, we've got him left back. We've got so many players. And Mankiw can play right back, left back. There's not a place for Jamal Lewis, unfortunately. I like him as a football player, but I do think the new owners will sell those two for sure. Clark's at 100% and Jamal Lewis, I'm pretty confident he'll go as well. Federico Fernandez. I like him as a defender, but for whatever reason, the club just doesn't like him. We know this before Eddie Howe even came in. Graham Jones said, well, we're not going to put him in the starting 11, but we're not going to put him on the bench here. We're going to leave him on the reserves because there's no point in having him on the bench. That's the words he said. Now, our back three at the time, well, centre-halves at the time, Lascelles, Kraft, and it was Clark. We were starting those three above Fernandez. Bearing in mind, we know Fernandez is a better defender. Since that, yes, Fernandez has been injured, but he just isn't liked behind the scenes. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's bad attitude or he's done something training or what. But he hasn't played in ages. I know he's been injured again, but even when he wasn't injured, we were never playing him. And I think now he'll be one that'll go in the summer. I feel for him quite a bit. I do like him, however, though, this club just doesn't seem to have a future for him. So yes, I think Federico Fernandez will be sold. Paul Dummett, I feel like, again, is a player I love, but I do feel like his time is coming to an end. He can't stay fit at all. It's just ridiculous. He plays 2 matches and he's injured. It's just... And not only is he injured, as well, the long-term injuries. He's a problem to have. Yes, he's a homegrown talent. Yes, he's a Newcastle fan. He's been here for many years. But there comes a time where it's time to go off into the sunset. And for Paul Dummett, as sad as it may be, I think he will also be so... He gets injured way too much. It's not good enough. The rest of the defence now, the old players, we've got Shaw, Lascelles, Ritchie, and we've got Kraft. I actually think all 4 of them will probably stay. I think Kraft, if we bring an all right back in, then yes, I think Kraft will be sold. But at this moment in time, in the summer window, I think the 4 of those will stay at the football club. Moving on to the midfield now, we know that Sean Longstaff and John Joe Shelby have long-term futures at the club. So who goes? Isaac Hayden, he's one I would get rid of. Ever since he got injured, he just hasn't been the same player. That Brighton injury last season, when he came back this season, there was something off about him. He wasn't the same football player. He's been injured again, now a long-term injury. We can't keep having this. He's a player that's getting older now, and as much as I love him for the last couple of years, I just don't think he's really there anymore. He's one I would personally sell, and I think the club will be looking to offload him as we potentially bring more midfielders into the club. We need players that can get forward well as well. And Hayden, he's just a defensive midfielder. That's all he is. I think we can get players that are a lot more versatile. And I thank you for your services, Hayden, but I think he'll definitely go. Miguel Almiron, he started against Everton. Look at those stats there this season. I love him. I love his passion. I love his energy. His pace is exceptional. That's it. He hasn't got anything else. He hasn't got the end product. He hasn't got the drive we need. We need someone that can score and assist. He just can't do that at all. It's not good enough, his stats. And when you watch him play, he's just non-existent at times. And it saddens me because I do like him. However, though, I think he's been here about 4 years now or something. It's a long time for football to be here. And it just hasn't done enough. So, yeah, I would sell Miguel Almiron. I believe the club will be looking to do so as well. As we move on to the attackers now, Dwight Gill, obvious one to sell. He hasn't played. He's not going to play. He barely gets any game time. We should have sold him years ago when he had a lot of value as a championship level striker. We should have sold him. I keep saying this. We should have sold him to Hull City and got Jared Bourne off him that deadline day. Instead, we let him go to West Ham. He's been classed for West Ham. It was such an obvious one to make. Hull City needed the striker. We could have got rid of Gill and got Jared Bourne, and that would have been a great deal. We could have had a little bit of money in there. But instead, as always, our owner wasn't interested, and we kept a hold of Gill, and now his value is just next to none. He hasn't played in a while. He hasn't scored a goal for Newcastle in over a year. It's just, there's no point to him. He's not getting game time. He will definitely go. I think when Newcastle as well, we'll be looking to sign more strikers due to Chris Wood not really hitting the mark and Callum Wilson's injury prone issues. So a new striker I think will come in and Dwight Gill will be out the door. Saint-Maximin now, he's the one in the thumbnail. I genuinely believe at this moment in time, it's whether the player wants to leave or not. I really feel like his head's not there. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but when you watch him come off the bench, he's just... he's making the team worse when he plays. I don't know what the hell's going on here. He's putting his Instagram today saying this, and he's trying to respond to critics coming out and saying, oh, no, I'm going to be proving he's wrong. We'll be coming out and doing this, but actions speak louder than words. I want to see him score goals. I want to see him get assists. I want to see him change the game. I don't want to see his Instagram posts And I think this season he's just frustrated fans. Again, as I speak about Chelsea last week, he refused to come up and clap the fans. That's just a basic thing that every player, I believe, should be doing. It doesn't sound much, but again, when fans are looking on, critical, considering where we are now as a football club, fans are trying to look at all the ins and outs of football players, and when you do stuff like that, people are going to naturally turn against you, and it just doesn't look good on them. And people all season long have just been slagging Saint-Maximin off, whether you agree with him or not, and I'd still love to play one speed here, to be honest. So I genuinely think, at this moment in time, as we speak here, Saturday in March, I do think he could potentially leave at the end of the season. I feel like it's more of a player's choice than anything else. Jacob Murphy, I like him a lot. Again, Newcastle fan. However, though, he's decent. He's not amazing. He's not good enough for us to be a European side. I mean, looking to push titles. It's just he's not a player that's going to do that, unfortunately. So, again, this video is quite harsh, but the new owners, they want to win the biggest trophies out there. So, in order to do that, a lot of these players have got to go out the door. But anyway, guys, that's it there. I think I said more than 10 players there. I said quite a few of them. But a lot of players could potentially go out the door. I think at least 5 would be sold. 5 to 10. I don't know exactly how many would be sold. Again, you got to bring players in to get rid of them. And you don't want to get rid of too many players at once because it completely destroys the cohesion in the team. You've got to take it nice and slow. You take it one step at a time. But I think at least 5 would be sold. And I said 10 in that video of players that the club could be looking to sell. So, yeah. We'll see which ones do go in this summer. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? Again, this is what I believe your owners would do. This is my personal opinion. But yeah, take care, guys. Thank you so much for watching now. See you on the next one.